So just go ahead and be tapping through the beginning of this, either collarbone or tapping different points. So maybe you enjoyed the Oscar-winning performance of J.K. Simmons as music teacher Terrence Fletcher in the film Whiplash. This is a guy who hopes that by humiliating his students he can motivate them to greatness. And he justifies this abuse with what we might call the Yardbird origin story, believing that Charlie Parker wouldn't have achieved greatness if he hadn't gone through this traumatic event of having a symbol thrown at him. So there's a positive intention behind the behavior, but I still don't think it justifies it. And while there are obviously a lot of stories of people for whom trauma has been the catalyst to greatness, both in real life and in fiction. Most superheroes, their origin story involves some sort of tragedy. But there are a lot of people who have achieved greatness without going through that. And even when it does motivate us, it's because it's an unfortunate thing that happens. People overcome something bad and turn it into something great. But we don't want to fabricate something terrible in order to make it happen. So let's just clear the stuff that's there. While you might say that that trauma may have created or unleashed that greatness, there's also been a lot of abuse that has also created the blocks to greatness. So let's clear those blocks and unleash that greatness. It's taking full responsibility for your own well-being. I choose to achieve greatness. And I choose to love and accept myself. I choose to achieve greatness. And I choose to love and honor myself. I choose to achieve greatness. I choose to know that greatness is already inside of me. And I just need to clear away whatever gets in the way. I choose to achieve greatness. And I choose to deeply and completely love, honor, and accept myself. And anyone who may have created the blocks, and anyone who has inspired me. I choose to achieve greatness. I choose to achieve greatness. I choose to know that greatness is inside of me, and I'm clearing the blocks to that. Clearing all the arguments that say I'm not great. Part of me might say, I haven't really demonstrated greatness yet. That doesn't mean it's not in there. When I was still crawling as a baby, that didn't mean I didn't have the ability to walk. I just haven't gotten there yet. And maybe I have, but I've forgotten. If I'm afraid of being great, it's convenient to forget when I've been great. I'm clearing the fear. Clearing all this fear of being great. Clearing all this fear of achieving greatness. Clearing this fear of what it's going to take. clearing this fear of the consequences, clearing this fear at a cellular level, and all the way back through my past. Back through all the times in my life where I got the message that greatness wasn't really for me. It took too much work. There's too much of a cost. I'm clearing this stuff and giving myself permission to see all the possible wonderful consequences of greatness. All the rewards it can bring me. Inside and out. How fun to find out how great I can be. It's also great to think about. All the benefits I can provide others. If I were sharing my gifts at a greater level, if I were allowing myself to really achieve greatness, it's exciting to think about how much good that can do for others. Including how it might inspire others to achieve greatness. It's exciting to think about the world. With more and more people achieving greatness. That natural greatness that's inside everyone. I choose to be willing to share mine. And I choose to enjoy it. I choose to be motivated by joy. I choose to be motivated by excitement. I might feel motivated by a sense of service. Excited by all the good that I can do. There's all kinds of positive motivation for being great. And I'm clearing the stuff that gets in my way. All that stuff that slows me down. All that stuff that tells me to put the brakes on. Clearing that out. I'm releasing that. I'm allowing myself to remember that greatness is inside of me. And it's really awesome when I share that. Allowing myself to achieve greatness. I'm now releasing all of the fear and trauma and sadness in all of the roots and the deepest cause. Of all this resistance to being great. I'm now releasing all the anger and resentment in all of the roots and the deepest cause of all this resistance to being great. I'm now releasing all the fears and doubts in all of the roots and the deepest cause of all of this resistance to achieving greatness. I'm now releasing all of the embarrassment in all of the roots and the deepest cause of all this resistance to being great. I'm now releasing all of the shame and guilt in all of the roots and the deepest cause of all of this resistance to being great. I'm now releasing all the remaining fears and doubts in all of the roots and the deepest cause of all of this resistance to achieving greatness. I'm now releasing all the low self-esteem in all of the roots and the deepest cause of all this resistance to being great. I'm setting myself free to be great. Whatever that might mean for me. There's different ways that it might show up. I'm allowing myself to experience greatness. For my good and the good of all concerned. I'm remembering the greatness is inside of me. And I'm clearing away all the stuff that blocks it. Setting myself free to achieve greatness. In body, mind, and spirit. Take a deep breath. And thanks for being willing to give us the best of what you've got.